Yeah, it's like you're really just a junkie, hopping from one short-term fix to the next, and it's like you're like you got the wrong drug, pal. You gotta get on the real shit, and the real shit is being legit.
There you go, man.
Sage burning up in the crib. Shawty wanna see how I live. First I gotta see what a vibe like. You know that it come for good the whole night. Pain on a young nigga's mind. Meditate.
I was telling him that addictive personalities are like, something people can't necessarily control. It's the nature of their unconscious, for lack of a better term. And the whole deal is with that, it's like that's another thing you have to conquer consciously. But me personally, I've never necessarily had those problems. But I do have problems with subconscious negativity. Very much, which is kind of explained lately in other episodes. It was, that kind of anger. It's always there, but I have to fight it. And the only things I really need in my life, not like vices, smoking and drinking and shit. I can do it casually, but I don't need it.
Yeah, gotcha.
I don't want it either. It's just kind of like
if it's there.
Yeah, it's a luxury, not a
pleasure.
Not a necessity, but. My necessity is I need activities to help me clear my head, because if I can't keep my head clear, the shadows start to creep in, and I have to beat them back in order to keep myself conscious and not lost in negativity, which for me is very easy to fall into. It's like the only way I can describe it is necessarily going back to the water thing. The whole deal is like running water never grows stale. If you let a cup of water sit for a while, outside, you're gonna get bacteria, you're gonna get algae, you're gonna get nasty shit, you're gonna get shit clouding up your water. But if you're always flowing, take a hose. I'm not saying drink out of your hose water, but the point I'm getting at, there's that bacteria and the filth can't fucking get there because it's always moving. You gotta keep your mind working. You gotta keep yourself active, both spiritually and mentally.
Yeah, for sure.
Or
be aware.
Physically and spiritually and mentally.
Yeah,
you must be aligned. But that's how you keep making conscious, continuous growth.
Just check. Oh, you're good. Okay.
All right.
I thought I heard something.
Yeah. But continuous conscious growth is you have to be always flowing. Don't let yourself stagnate. And that's been very hard for people to do with this whole fucked up year we've had.
Oh, yeah.
Because the powers that be, and by powers that be I mean government and shit, and literally everybody has told you to be stagnant. Stay home.
Yeah.
And it's like...
I mean, to a certain extent, to a right extent, to stay home,
Yes, yeah. But that has there's a lot of fucking content out there about people that's this year has ruined my life. It just changes the way people think about shit.
Oh, for sure, dude. And I think a big part of that is, dude, I want to dive into that whole media thing so bad, but kind of to just touch on it a little bit. What you said, how this ruins people's lives, and it's just been such a fucked up year. I think, I don't know if this is exactly what it's called, but for a lot of people, it's caused the official term is COVID anxiety disorder, right?
Oh yeah.
They become, I don't know if that's an official thing, but I would not be surprised if it actually is.
I've heard of that too, but
yeah.
I don't know. We're not doctors.
No, but pretty much individuals become so afraid of going outside, become so stagnant, right? Mm-hmm. And this kind of conditions them to develop a learned helplessness, right? Okay, people are stagnant, right? They're at home, and that becomes their dominant state of mind, right? And once you do something for 28 days, that becomes a new habit, right? Once you get used to that. And so over time, if you're staying at home, doing nothing, in a sense, depending on what you're doing, it can be good. But if you're constantly in a state of stagnance, right, and you're constantly kind of in a negative state of mind, you kind of, like you said, you're programming your subconscious mind, and this is what your brain becomes accustomed to, right? Mm-hmm. And so, like I was saying, it develops into learned helplessness, right? And until you become aware and you consciously make the choice to make a change, right? Which is, it's gonna be hard, right?
Yeah.
Because the brain does not find pleasure in a change of routine. Not at all.
No, you have to
Anybody that tries to change a habit knows that, right? And I'm
Yeah.
sure you guys have. I'm sure, Cole and I know at least in my experience, it has
Yeah.
been. But that learned helplessness is like an unaware state of you're just like you just don't want to do anything else than what you're accustomed to, right?
Yeah.
And if you're accustomed to shit that is just not good, right, and you're not changing in a good sense, that's more preferable for society and for you.
Mm-hmm.
It can lead to a lot of problems like depression, suicide, and heavy shit.
Yeah, and like I don't know if I mentioned this in one of the other episodes, but it was like what you're talking about, like how like the brain doesn't like the change. No growth happens inside the comfort zone. You got to be going back to David Goggins. You got to be uncomfortable in the uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Be uncommon amongst uncommon men, and like I've not consciously taken a part in that kind of his style, like aggressive mental reprogramming, but I have picked up a little bit of it. Like, I think I was telling you before, like, I, can just not eat. Mental reprogramming, not to that degree, but I've gotten such, a firm grasp over, my bodily function. It's not like I'm operating in the subconscious. I can just tell, I can just exist being starving for a little while, even though, just from, getting used to cutting and shit.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
But it's sometimes I have to remind myself, hey, I need to eat. But that's a conscious thing.
Yeah.
That's not my body telling me. Sometimes I'll feel it. And I'll be like, fucking, okay, I'm going to eat.
Yeah.
But not as often as I'd like to. So I have to consciously remind myself, hey, I got to eat now.
Yeah.
Because I've corrected my brain to, override my body, to, keep going with the mission. Food is secondary. The task at hand right now is what is important.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So I have to go back and get a grasp on pretty much basic bodily function from just mentally overcorrecting.
Yeah, and kind of like what you said, those instinctual forces that come up, right? And what your conditioned subconscious habits and behaviors that build up through rationality and logic, and according to the whole function that society has created, whether it be watching TV, whether it be playing video games, whether it be just really any habit or behavior that you have and that you're accustomed to doing, it can come up like, oh shit, I need to do this right now, right here, right now, right? Or whether it be, go for a run, go for a walk, go outside. I feel it all the time. But luckily for me, it's positive, it's preferable. Mm-hmm. But sometimes it's unpreferable. And like you said, you got to remember what's primary. You got to remember that these forces of, okay, I got to work on this assignment right now because I know if I put the work in for 40 minutes, it's going to make a lot of progress and help me. But then that instinctual force comes up, being like, "Yo, your bed is 6 feet behind you, man. You can just chill out, go on your phone, relax. And it's that pleasure, that easy, effortless pleasure. And I'm not talking about
the free dopamine.
Yeah, the free dopamine, right? And this is I'm talking primarily external, right? I know I promote effortless non-doing a lot on this channel, but it has to flow through the doing, right? But if you're constantly giving into pleasures and you're giving into these temporary states, very little progress is going to be made.
Yeah. It's like you're really just a junkie, hopping from one short-term fix to the next, and it's like you're like you got the wrong drug, pal. Yeah. You got to get on the real shit, and the real shit is being legit.
There you go, man.
It's like fuck these I have a Nike hoodie that I got for Christmas. That's it's a really cool hoodie, but it has on the sleeves these designs, and on each sleeve, and it's distraction, laziness, gluttony and shit like that, and each has this kind of weird artistic representation. Distraction is literally an octopus with 8 phones.
Yeah, I like doing it. Damn.
But it just has, you zip up the hoodie, the front of it just says "just do it," and I'm like, that's not only a badass hoodie. I fucking love that hoodie. Number two, I'm like, that's real shit right there.
The marketers know what they're doing.
Oh yeah, they're playing to the height.
Yeah, they know I'm gonna get that hoodie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like,
no, it speaks words though.
Yeah, exactly. But like, those are those things you have to avoid. You know, you got to avoid those short-term fucking free pleasure, free sense, like not senses, sources of like validation, and like everybody's.
Trap.
Yeah, everybody's chasing the dopamine dragon because we're very much in kind of a.
It's our culture, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't be chasing the dragon.
Yeah.
You can't be. You ride the dragon for a little bit, but like that's a beast that you can't ride forever.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
But sometimes you gotta chase something different.
Yeah. For sure.
And often the one thing you should probably be chasing is a phoenix. A flame that, though sometimes it'll die out, it'll always come back.
Gotcha.
It'll
It's always there.
It's always there.
Right.
The phoenix will fly, no matter what. Yeah. You should chase the phoenix. The phoenix can get shot down. It'll rise from the ashes. Yeah. It could fucking crack in the side of a building, rise from the ashes. You need to be a phoenix and rise from the ashes.
Yeah.
You should be the phoenix. Like the whole. I'm thinking of this in the bird is flying. The phoenix is flying. You're running after the phoenix, but with each time you're chasing the phoenix and it dies, you pick up a piece of the ashes. And the more of the ashes you pick up, the more you start becoming the phoenix. The more you feel that fire, and the more you start becoming the undying flame. Yeah. And that undying flame is your purpose. Yeah. It is your true purpose. Yeah. And you can only figure out your true purpose if you've cleared the fog that your conscious mind is trying to pull over to poison your conscious mind. Yeah. Because unconsciously, there is so much knowledge in there that you can only tap into if you take a step back from all the bullshit. Think about it for like a good, I'd say it varies from person to person. Sometimes your life will correct you and like stop with the bullshit and your eyes will be open.
Yeah, humbled. Yeah, for sure.
But sometimes you just gotta sit down in a dark room and think about it.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's different for everyone.
Yeah.
But the point is, don't chase the dragon, chase the phoenix.
Yeah. And that phoenix, in more relatable terms, is your awareness.
Yes.
Right? It's as simple as that. But yeah, that, like you said, the phoenix, it's unchanging. It'll never go away until... it'll never go away until the day you die, right? And what happens after that, fucking who knows, alright?
Yeah.
But yeah, you whatever situation you're perceiving, whatever goal you're going after, that underlying awareness is always there, right? That underlying awareness that is behind our thoughts, right? And the thoughts can represent as that dragon, that stimuli, that pleasure that we're chasing, right? And then once we uncover that awareness, whether that be through meditation, whether that be through yoga, exercise, you name it, all possibility opens up, right? And you realize what's been there all along, right? Mm-hmm. And whether you've been conditioned to be in such a way that is not preferable, that is not really productive, right? You can enter that state of non-doing, right? And that non-doing is non-doing because it's effortless to connect with, right? Yeah. Like anybody who's a human or even an animal can connect with their own awareness, right? Yeah. It's literally always there. It's just whether we're aware of it or not. But the more we become aware of that and we let that, the more we're present, and if, like I said earlier, it flows through our reality, it will make...
This hurts me as much as it hurts you. Just
I love it. No, you should just fly yourself down the stairs.
Throw yourself down the stairs. Be a man.
Nice. Yeah. But yeah, the more you're aware within your conscious mind, the more it'll reprogram your subconscious mind, and then that will kind of return the favor. The more you put that effort into the conscious mind, the more it will help you in the
Yeah.
subconscious mind, and then your reality will
The
change
more,
forever.
oh, I got this. This is another good one. The more pennies you throw into the wishing well of your subconscious mind, the more it will reward you later.
I got the sage burning up in the crib. Shawty wanna see how I live. First I gotta see you with a vibe like. You know that it come for good the whole night. Pain on a young nigga.